So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the thoracic body wall. Now the thoracic body wall or the thoracic wall basically is composed of 12 ribs. Okay, it is composed of the 12 ribs which are there on the side laterally. There are 12 vertebrae which are there posteriorly. There is the manubrium and the sternum which is there anterior. There is the superior thoracic aperture. There is a superior thoracic aperture which is closed by the suprapleural membrane, or this is also a diaphragm which is separating the neck from the thorax. And then there is inferiorly the inferior thoracic aperture which is closed by the thoracoabdominal diaphragm. There is a thoracoabdominal diaphragm, the thoracoabdominal diaphragm over here. And here is the suprapleural membrane. Suprapleural membrane. So this is what constitutes the thoracic wall. So because there are 12 ribs, there are 11 intercostal spaces. There are 11 intercostal spaces. Okay? Because the space below the 12th rib cannot be called as an intercostal space because the intercostal means between the two ribs. So therefore, below the 12th rib, we call it as subcostal space. It is the subcostal space. It is the subcostal space. So what is there in a typical intercostal space? What are the contents of a typical intercostal space? Okay, contents of a typical intercostal space. One is they are lined by muscles. Then each of it has an artery. I would say arteries, but there are anterior intercostal arteries and posterior intercostal arteries. Then there are veins. Then there is nerve. The vein, artery, and the nerve, they are arranged in the subcostal groove of every rib in a sequence from superior to inferior, VAN, vein, artery, nerve. Now let us firstly talk about the muscles. There are 3 muscles. Okay. Now I'll firstly give you a gross idea of all of this. There are 3 muscles. One is external intercostal muscle, internal intercostal muscle, and transversus thoracis. Transversus thoracis. This transversus thoracis has 3 components. Internal intercostine, then subcostalis, which is there posteriorly, and sternocostalis, which is there anterior. Sternocostalis, which is there anterior. When we talk about the arteries, there are 2 anterior intercostal arteries in space 1 to 9. And there is 1 posterior intercostal artery one posterior intercostal artery from space 1 to 11. That means in space 10 and 11, there is no anterior intercostal artery. Veins have a similar pattern to the arteries. The nerves, they come from the posterior aspect. The nerves come from the posterior aspect, and they are nothing but the spinal nerves. They are nothing but the spinal nerves. So there will each nerve lies below the corresponding rib. Each nerve lies below the corresponding rib. So the first thoracic spinal nerve will lie below the first rib. Now here I am showing you structure of a rib. A rib has a head, then it has a neck, and after the neck there is this body of the rib, and there is an angle. There is an angle, and then there is costal cartilage, and then here is the sternum, manubrium. So this is the posterior aspect. This is the anterior aspect. Now I am showing you the external intercostal muscle. Okay. The external intercostal muscle begins from the posterior aspect, and the external intercostal muscle extends only up to the costochondral junction. It extends only up to the costochondral junction. Okay. So it starts from the tubercle. So here somewhere I would say will be the tubercle of the rib. So it starts from there, from the tubercle of the rib. Okay. And from the tubercle, the external intercostal muscle, it goes only up to the costal cartilage, and beyond that it exists as it becomes a membrane. It becomes a membrane. While internal intercostal starts from here and runs up to the angle. So this is internal intercostal. It starts from the sternum, goes up to the angle, and from beyond that it becomes a membrane. While the transversus thoracis has three components, and one of the component is intercostalis intimae, and this intercostalis intimae is there exactly in the middle to fourth. While on the anterior aspect there is sternocostalis, and on the posterior aspects there is subcostalis. So these are the three parts of transversus thoracis muscle: intercostalis intimae, sternocostalis, and subcostalis. So this is about the muscle: external intercostal, internal intercostal. So external intercostal forms a membrane anteriorly. Internal intercostal starts from the sternum and has its internal intercostal membrane posteriorly. And the third muscle, transversus thoracis, has three components: intercostalis intimae. So this is outermost, this is in the middle, and this is the innermost. Okay. So this is about the muscles. Now let us talk about the arteries. Now let us talk about the intercostal arteries. Okay. Now in each space, now suppose this is one rib, this is the costal cartilage, this is a rib below, this is the costal cartilage. So in each space maybe I'm talking about the upper spaces where there is internal thoracic artery lying behind the costal cartilage. Internal thoracic artery. Internal thoracic artery. So this is internal thoracic artery. So this internal thoracic artery gives two anterior intercostal arteries. It gives two anterior intercostal arteries. Okay, in each space. And there is the descending thoracic aorta behind. So this is the posterior aspect, which only gives one posterior intercostal artery. So in each space, there are two anterior intercostal arteries and one posterior intercostal artery. Now what happens is this posterior intercostal artery gives a collateral branch. And this posterior intercostal artery goes and anastomoses with the anterior intercostal artery. And the collateral branch goes anteriorly and anastomoses with the lower anterior. So there is a upper anterior and there is lower anterior. Upper anterior intercostal artery anastomoses with posterior intercostal artery, and lower anterior intercostal artery anastomoses with the collateral branch of the posterior intercostal artery. Now let us check the origin of posterior intercostal arteries. The posterior intercostal arteries and origin of anterior intercostal arteries. Anterior intercostal artery from space 1 to 6 is given by internal thoracic artery. Internal thoracic artery. What happens is this internal thoracic artery in the space number 7 divides into musculophrenic and superior epigastric. And in space 7 to 9, the two anterior intercostal arteries are given by musculophrenic artery. And in space number 10 and 11, there are no anterior intercostal artery. There are no anterior intercostal artery. Posterior intercostal artery from space number 3 to 11 are given by descending thoracic aorta. Are given by descending thoracic aorta. And in space number 1 and 2, the posterior intercostal artery is given by superior intercostal artery, which is a branch of costocervical trunk. Costocervical trunk, which is a branch of subclavian artery. So you have to remember that posterior intercostal artery in space number 3 to 11 is given by descending thoracic aorta, and 1 and 2 it is given by superior intercostal artery, which is a branch of costocervical trunk, which is a branch of subclavian artery. Anterior intercostal artery is given by internal thoracic artery, which is also a branch of subclavian. And in space number 1 to 6, both the anterior intercostal arteries are given by internal thoracic artery. At the 7th space, the internal thoracic artery divides into musculophrenic and superior epigastric. So the musculophrenic gives the anterior intercostal arteries in space number 7 to 9. And in 10 and 11, there is no anterior intercostal artery. Now let us see what happens about the veins. The veins will have a very similar structure. The veins will also, there will be two anterior intercostal veins and there will be one posterior intercostal. Okay, similar structures. The names will be similar. Now we'll check the drainage of the veins. So I will not draw a separate diagram for the veins because veins are going to have similar structure like the arteries. There will be two anterior intercostal veins and one posterior intercostal. Now we have to just check where do the veins drain. The veins also have a similar drainage pattern. The anterior intercostal veins, in space number 7 to 9, they drain into musculophrenic vein like the arteries, and in space number 1 to 6, they drain into the internal thoracic vein, which drains into subclavian. Now let us check about what happens on the posterior aspect. And when we talk about the posterior aspect, there is a slight variation in this on the right and the left side. Now suppose this is the right side and this is the left side. So this is posterior intercostal vein number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now the 11th, the 12th one is not called as intercostal, it is called as subcostal. Okay, the 12th one is called as subcostal. The 12th one is called as subcostal. So 12, 11, 9, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Now all of us know that the brachiocephalic trunks, the two brachiocephalic trunks, these are the two brachiocephalic veins, the right brachiocephalic and the left brachiocephalic. They together unite to form the superior vena cava. They together unite to form the superior vena. Now what happens is the three veins, ascending lumbar vein, the subcostal vein, and the lumbar azygous vein. Okay, they unite to form what is called as azygous vein. They unite to form azygous vein, and this azygous vein goes right up to the superior vena cava, and at the level of T4, this azygous vein drains into the superior vena cava. And vein number 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, they all drain into the azygous vein. Now on the right side, what happens is second, third, and fourth, they unite to form superior intercostal vein. They unite to form superior intercostal vein, which also drains into azygous. And the first vein, the first posterior intercostal vein, these are all posterior intercostal veins, the first directly drains into the brachiocephaly. On the left side, also the first drains into brachiocephaly. On the left side, the second, third, fourth, they unite to form superior intercostal vein, which also drains into brachiocephalic. Now, this difference you have to remember. The second, third, and fourth vein on the right side also form superior intercostal vein. On the left side also they form superior intercostal vein. But on the right side, it drains into azygous. This is the azygous vein. Okay. It drains into azygous vein, while on the left side, the superior intercostal vein drains into the left brachiocephalic vein. Now, the 12th, 10th, 9th, okay, they form a vein called as hemiazygous vein. They form a vein called as hemiazygous vein. Okay, because it is half of the azygous. But this also goes and drains into azygous. Okay, the subcostal 11, 10, and 9th posterior intercostal vein on the left side, they form hemiazygous vein. Now 5, 6, 7, 8, they also form a vein which is called as accessory hemiazygous vein. Accessory hemiazygous vein. So this is hemiazygous vein which is formed by 12, that is subcostal, 11, 10, 9. And 5, 6, 7, 8 on the left side, they form accessory hemiazygous vein. It also drains into azygous. So again, I will repeat the venous drainage of an intercostal space. The anterior intercostal spaces from 1 to 6 drain in internal thoracic and 7 to 9 they drain in musculophrenic. These are the posterior intercostal veins. So anterior we have discussed. The posterior intercostal vein from 1 to 11 are there, and subcostal vein number 12 is also shown there on right and left side. On the right side, the 12th one along with ascending lumbar and lumbar azygos form the azygos vein. So this is the point of formation of azygos vein. It goes and drains into superior vena cava at T4 level. This is the arch of azygos. And 11 to 5, all of them drain into azygos. 2, 3, 4 together form superior intercostal vein, which also drains into azygos. First one drains into the brachiocephalic vein on the right side. Even on the left side, it drains directly into brachiocephalic vein. The first posterior intercostal vein on the right and left side drain into brachiocephalic. Second, third, and fourth. On the left side, it also forms superior intercostal vein. On right side, it was draining into azygos. On left side, it drains into brachiocephalic. The 12th, that is the subcostal vein, 10, 9, they form hemiazygous vein. Okay. This also drains into azygos, and 5, 6, 7, 8 posterior intercostal veins on the left side, they form accessory hemiazygos, which also drains into the azygos vein. So there are lots of MCQs which are asked on this. There are MCQs which are asked upon blockage of the superior vena cava below and blockage of the superior vena cava above the azygos. If the blockage is below the azygos, then azygos, the use of azygos will be to get all this blood down and to the posterior intercostal vein, and then through the anterior it will drain, or rather it will bring down here up to the inferior vena cava. This lumbar azygos is connected to IVC. So basically azygos will get the whole blood of the head face neck down if the blockage is below the opening of the superior vena cava gets blocked below the opening of the azygos. Okay, if it is blocked above the opening of the azygos, then things are little better because azygos can be still used to drain blood to the heart. So in this case, the veins will be dilated only on the thorax, and all the blood through the azygos goes to the superior vena cava. Okay. Now coming to the last component, and that is a typical intercostal nerve. A typical intercostal nerve again, has a similar course. It again has a similar course like the veins and arteries. It also starts from the posterior artery, from the posterior side, because it is nothing but a spinal nerve. It is nothing but a spinal nerve. It will lie below the corresponding rib. Below the corresponding rib. Okay. Below the corresponding rib. And it will also run its typical course like this from the posterior aspect below the rib. Okay. Up to the anterior aspect. It comes on the anterior aspect and it gives what is called as anterior cutaneous nerve. And then in between it gives what is called as lateral cutaneous nerve. Okay, and even it posteriorly on the posterior aspect it will give posterior cutaneous nerve. So each nerve, there will be 11 intercostal nerves, and each of these nerve will be the spinal nerve. It is nothing but a spinal nerve. Okay, the spinal nerve, and it will be lying below the corresponding rib. It will give uh, a posterior cutaneous branch, it will give a lateral cutaneous branch, it will give muscular branch, it will give an anterior cutaneous branch, a pleural branch. It will also give a gray and white ramus communications and communicate with the sympathetic ganglion. Okay. Now coming to the last part of the this thing, we discussed about the muscles. We discussed about the muscles of the thoracic wall, which was external intercostal, internal intercostal, and the uh, transversus thoracis, which had three components. Now, when we talk about the action, the main action of the intercostal muscle is that they prevent the retraction of the intercostal spaces during inspiration and expiration. And the external intercostal and the interchondral portion of the internal intercostal and levator costae, they elevate the rib during inspiration, while internal intercostals, except for their interchondral portions, and the transverse thoracics might depress the ribs and the cartilage during expiration. So mainly the external intercostal act during inspiration, and external intercostal, they act during expiration. Okay. When we talk about their origin and insertion, the external intercostal muscle, it typically arises, the external intercostal muscle, it typically arises from the lower border of the rib above the space, and it gets inserted on the outer lip of the uh, upper border of the rib below. So it gets inserted on the outer lip, while the internal intercostal will get inserted on the inner lip. But internal intercostal takes its origin from the floor of the costal. Okay. And the transversus thoracis, it arises from the inner surface of the rib and get attached to the inner surface of the ribs below. When we see the arrangement of uh, these three structures, it is vein, artery, and nerve. In a typical subcostal groove, the vein is superior, then is artery, and then is the nerve. So this is what the whole arrangement is there in the thoracic cavity. There are 12 ribs. There are 12 vertebrae posteriorly, manubrium, sternum anteriorly. There is the superior thoracic aperture covered by the suprapleural membrane, inferior thoracic aperture covered by the thoracoabdominal diaphragm. There are 11 intercostal spaces. In each space, there are three muscles: external intercostal, internal intercostal, transversus thoracis. And transversus thoracis has three components: internal costalis intimae, subcostalis, and sternocostalis. There are arteries, veins, and nerves. So when we talk about the muscles, the external intercostal extends from the tubercle to the costochondral junction and then continues as membrane. Internal intercostal starts from the lateral border of sternum and then continues as membrane beyond the angle. And these are the three parts of the transversus thoracis: intercostalis intimae, the sternocostalis, and subcostalis behind. This is how a typical intercostal artery is. Each space there are two anterior intercostal artery, upper and lower. They arise from the internal thoracic artery in the space 1 to 6, and in 7 to 9 they arise from musculophrenic artery. The posterior intercostal arteries from space 1 to 2 arise from superior intercostal artery, and which is a branch of costocervical trunk, which is a branch of subclavian. In 3 to 11 spaces, they arise from the descending thoracic aorta. Okay. When we talk about the veins, the anterior intercostal veins in space 1 to 6, they drain into internal thoracic vein, and in space 9 to 11, they drain into musculophrenic vein. As regards the venous drainage of the posterior intercostal veins is concerned, at the subcostal vein unites with the ascending lumbar and lumbar azygos to form what is called as azygos vein. This azygos vein drains to SVC, and 5 to 11, all these posterior intercostal veins, they drain into azygos. 2, 3, and 4, they form superior intercostal vein and drains into SVC. The posterior intercostal vein of the first one on the right side drains into brachiocephalic. First on the left side also drains into brachiocephalic. 2, 3, 4 on the left side forms superior intercostal vein and drains into brachiocephalic. 5, 6, 7, 8 forms accessory hemiazygos, drains into azygos. 9, 10, 11 from hemiazygos along with the subcostal, and that also drains into the azygos. A typical intercostal nerve has basically a posterior intercostal cutaneous branch, a lateral cutaneous branch, anterior cutaneous branch. It also gives the gray and the white rami communicates. So that's all about the contents of a typical intercostal space. Thank you.